Hey, this is Greg. I am here with producer Susie, and we want to tell you about our new daily podcast, Greg and his friends talk sports.
It's where Greg and his friends talk sports.
It's where we talk sports I've been saying 10 to 20 minutes every day, but really it's usually 30, and then I tack on an extra interview, so sometimes it's like 45. But my friends and I talk about the Pacers, the Colts, IU, Purdue, IndyCar, Notre Dame, Butler, a lot of high school sports, and some national sports when that's what Central Indiana sports fans are talking about. So please join me and my friends as we talk about sports every single day on the Central Indiana Sports Report. Welcome back to the Central Indiana Sports Report, Fever fans, to this week's Fever Report with John Robertson and Michelle Garmon and special guest Mike Hutsell, here to talk about what's going on in the Fever offseason, if there even really is an offseason, if there's going to be a season at all, and then talk about some other things like Caitlin's going to be making kind of her debut with Team USA in March, what we kind of expect from that, and some other stuff. John, is there going to be a season?
I think they're going to start the season. I don't know if it'll start on time. I don't know, man. Both sides are just being really petty. Like their big update for a while was the players didn't think the front office changed their offer enough, and now they did, and now the players won't change their offer. It's just typical nonsense. I don't even know. I'm so over it. I already prepaid for my season tickets, and I'm ready to just get my money back at this point. We'll see what happens. I know that's not that exciting, but that's my take on it.
It just seems to me, and you guys can agree or disagree, that the players are still not negotiating out of any position of strength whatsoever because their fallback option seems to be evaporating. Unrivaled just isn't launching the way that they hoped. The second season, it was kind of like the XFL. It was huge at first, but once people watched it and they realized it's just really not that entertaining, it's kind of just gone down. And I could be wrong on that, but it seems like the ratings have just plummeted, and the fallback. And I know that the players feel more entitled because there was a growth in the WNBA last year, but it's still not as if they're just in this huge negotiating power that they want to think that they have. And nothing will kill a league faster than continued labor strife. Baseball's gone through it so how many times, and it's a distant third or fourth now in the national consciousness of sports. So just when things seem to be going well, you throw in a labor dispute in a league that already wasn't as popular with some people as some mainstream fans. It doesn't seem like this is trending in the right direction.
I think it's delusions of grandeur, honestly. They see the growth, and we know what it is. We know it's Caitlin Clark, but they don't want to admit that it's Caitlin Clark. You can't have a league with just one person. I'll give them that. That's true. But the growth is Caitlin Clark. They had their event, their Unrivaled event in Philadelphia, which they somehow packed the stands and were touting how great their attendance for that was. And now they're doing one in New York. So they'll probably try and say how great that one is again. But I like women's basketball. I like WNBA, but the only time I've turned on Unrivaled at all, and Lexi Hall is in Unrivaled for the record. This should tell you how much I really don't care about it. I love Lexi Hall. She's in it, but the only time I turned it on was for the one-on-one tournament because that's actually interesting to me. Like watching the one-on-one was interesting. 3-on-3 does nothing for me at all. It's not exciting.
And you can tout in-person attendance all you want. That's great. You're going to get a niche fan base that's going to show up and watch, especially if it's something that doesn't happen all the time. But we all know as much as anybody, the money in these leagues is in television. And I don't see a huge push for a huge unrivaled television package. And is the WNBA TV package going to go up that much that they deserve 6 times what they're making now? This seems to be what they're going for, at least 6, 7 times more. And you guys probably know this better than me, but you're right. Delusion of grandeur is the perfect way to say it. They think they have all the chips on their side, and they're really holding like a 2-8 offsuit right now.
I almost feel like they're holding Caitlin Clark hostage. They know people want to see Caitlin Clark, and we'll just make it so you guys can't see her unless you give us what you want. That's what it feels like.
The other thing with this Unrivaled is now that college football goes to the middle of January, and the next couple of years is going to go almost to the end of January, and college hoops, even women's college basketball, their ratings are getting better for marquee games, and it's a better product than what Unrivaled puts. I'm like you, Mike. I do not see Unrivaled getting big TV money.
If you're a WNBA owner, though, if you give them the money they want, wouldn't you put a non-compete clause or no other leagues clause in there? I would. If you're giving them the money that they're asking for, or even close to what they're asking for, I'm like, screw it. You can't play it.
Absolutely.
So do you think that people like Breanna Stewart and Nafisa Collier are going to allow that to happen when they own Unrivaled?
It'll be interesting. It is going to get very interesting. And the thing is, I love it because, and I've said this before, I love it because Caitlin Clark is staying so out of it. It'll be interesting to see if either side ask her to ever come to the table and sit and weigh in on it. I agree. The non-compete clause, and it's wrong. Stewart and Collier should not be part of the Players Association negotiating team with this because they do have a conflict of interest.
And that's been evident since day one, but nobody seems to have cared. It's like they had the loudest voices in the room on the Players Association, so they're going to continue to be there, but it's like taboo almost to bring it up. You haven't heard a single player question it. At least I haven't. So, why wouldn't they be there? They could end up getting some sort of, if they put a non-compete clause, they could get some sort of revenue windfall from the WNBA to them directly because, hey, my product is going to take a hit because your guys aren't going to allow us to use our players. So they can be negotiating for their own personal gain. And nobody seems to care. That's the frustrating thing. It's like these certain voices are the ones that matter in the land of the WNBA, and they're going to allow that to derail what could be the most important discussion this league's ever had.
When they do this, and if you put pause on the season, if you lose a season, it hurts you. If you start late, it still kind of hurts you overall. This is a time that you've got some young stars that are entertaining. We know Caitlin Clark puts fans in there. Aaliyah Boston is fun to watch. Paige Beckers is another really good player. Jackie Young. They've got some young, talented players. And
don't forget Angel Reese.
Oh no, Angel Reese is not. As far as I'm concerned, I'm not. She probably shouldn't be on the U.S. women's national team. She might average 12 rebounds because she's going to average 12 misses a game and get her own offensive miss 8 times a game. So
Michelle, most importantly, don't forget Cameron Brink.
No, I cannot forget Cameron Brink. You're right. But that's I mean, you have some of these really young stars, and you're going to have some continuing to come out of college ranks and stuff that are good players. And I think they don't have a real good blend of that middle. You've got the veterans, and then you've got these young stars coming out of college, and there are a few in that middle realm on everything. I'll tell you somebody who, and I know, John, I know that I don't think you're a big fan, but somebody who I haven't seen a lot of opinions on, and I know she's not playing on the national team right now, is Asia Wilson. And she herself is a big marketable thing around the world, but you don't see her involved. I just think you need a representative, at least a couple of representatives from kind of each era to maybe hash things out and then you don't all want to go in the room together. That's too many voices, especially I'm a female. I will say this, you get too many females in a room, you're dealing with too many hormones and it can become a little bit emotional. But to be a part of the process. Said it. I did say it, and I can't. I'm a female. You guys don't have to. But drama. Females bring drama.
I'm glad Michelle said it, not me.
But I think that they need to have really more discussions. But to be honest, I don't really think Fee and Stewart want that. I think they like being business and running this league, and I think they like that power.
Hutsell, any comment on women?
I don't want to go to the Central Indiana Sports Report HR meeting in the morning, so.
Any comment on Cameron Brink and her proposed photo magazine?
I'm gonna support her in whatever endeavor she chooses because that's the type of person I am. I'm a supportive voice in the room. I appreciate her even putting this up for consideration. So it's her choice, and I know which side I'm rooting for. And we'll just leave it at that.
All right, let's move on to our first glimpse of Caitlin in March. So apparently Caitlin is going to be ready by March for Team USA, and we'll get a glimpse of her before the season. What are your expectations, John?
I think it'll be exciting. I think it'll be good. From what I've seen of the practices, she's shooting really well. She's back to her old self. Like, I know we had that whole basically season last year where we just had to watch her sit on the sidelines and then get to see her play. But she looks like the Caitlin from 2 years ago, which is awesome. That's an exciting brand of basketball. You got to figure you put her and Paige together on the same team with other people that I don't even remember who all's on the USA roster. But it's going to be fun to watch. I get nervous when we start taking Indiana professional basketball players and putting them in Team USA. It never works out well. So there's a bit of that, but it's going to be whatever. If that's what she wants to do, I support her. Good for her. But I just don't want another Pacers incident.
It is exciting just to see her back on the court. Last year, like you said, was such a wash for her, and she'd play and then she'd be there for a week and a half, and then it seemed like she'd be gone again for 5 or 6 weeks, and then she'd briefly come back, and then she was gone for the rest of the year. But they were never really allowed to say it was going to be for the rest of the year because the league didn't want people tuning out. They wanted to, leave it up there that she could play if you had tickets to a game and the later in the season. But once it finally got out, that it was pretty obvious. I felt like the last time she got hurt that it was probably she was done. So just seeing her back on the court, it's good for the game. It's good for the fans. And I think, like you said, this has an opportunity to be a team that just kind of really grasp our imagination, because you're gonna have Paige and you're gonna have Caitlin playing together, and that's probably your two biggest stars, and are going to be your two biggest stars for the next 10 to 15 years in this league, assuming they actually don't blow it up and allow the anger and hormones in the room, like Michelle said, to derail this. But it's nice to see her come back. Looking forward to that. It'll draw interest again because it's kind of been meh. They're Unrivaled's not on my radar. There hasn't been a lot to, I'm not a big labor discussion person, so I'm actually excited to see basketball be played.
Paige, I don't know if you guys watched that at all. She walked off the court in the 1v1 pissed off. That was the news story of yesterday.
And she got who was she playing? I heard she got
Alicia Gray, I think. I think it was.
Yeah, it was Alicia Gray. She got ran, man. It was not. What was it, 11-2 or something?
And the thing that's stupid, I don't like the format really, because if you get unlimited fouls, so there's reason why you foul on the floor so they don't get their shot. But then, so they called it a foul on the shooting. So every free throw is worth 2 points. So that sealed the deal. And she was mad that there wasn't a foul on the floor because she was trying to foul on the floor. It's whatever. I don't know. But it's gonna be fun. Just take those two people though. It's gonna be fiery, right? We're gonna get fiery, competitive Caitlin Clark with fiery, competitive Paige. It's gonna be exciting. I can't think of any two bigger stars in the WNBA right now. Opening night at Indianapolis is Paige and Dallas at the Fever, and tickets are expensive, just because that's who it is. I almost thought about selling mine, but my daughter told me no, we're going, so we're going. But I'm just saying, you're right. They are the two biggest stars, and they'll be playing together in the USA team, and that'll be cool. I don't know how much people care about FIBA basketball outside of the Olympic years, but we'll see what the draw is.
Well, this will help it draw more interest, I promise.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
When I looked at that roster, I actually thought it was kind of a nice roster, young like that. I'll be interested to see how Copper does. I saw her in the Olympics. She's a tremendous defender and a good player, but I also know she can be personality is not always the best.
Dramatic, hormonal.
Well, now, and part of it just might be because during the WNBA season, she plays for the Mercury. I think the Phoenix Mercury, I think their nickname fit that group last year. What do you think, John? Because I thought they were pretty mercurial. I can't really say that word very well at times on the court.
I didn't like that team, so whatever. They should call
well,
them
that's
the Phoenix.
what I meant. I didn't like that.
You can call them the Phoenix assholes as far as I'm concerned, because
I mean, they got hot. They had attitudes, and they were kind of dirty. So
they made us cheer from some teams that we didn't like. That's how much.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So I just looked the opening night just to get in. The absolute top of the bleachers is 115.
I suppose Caitlin Clark had nothing to do with that WNBA.
You can go to the Dallas versus Fever preseason game for $25, but
that even seems like a lot for a WNBA preseason game, though. Because you got to remember,
I agree.
This is the league that 2-3 years ago, where you could legitimately ask somebody in the city, would you rather find a $5 bill on the ground or your WNBA team win a championship? And everybody was going to take the $5 bill. So,
yeah, my daughter and I got tickets to a game against New York for like $7 a piece back in like 2019 or 2020.
That sounds about right.
And that was lower bowl because they didn't even open up the balcony for Fever games.
My niece played a game there with her high school team, and it was one of those where if you played before the game, you got to stay for the game, and not a lot of people were asking to stay for the game.
Yep. It's going to be interesting. I hope we have a season. I really do. I really do enjoy it. Maybe the Fever will get fined for tanking. Who knows? Who knows what will happen?
Well, the other thing about it is like you could do irreparable damage here to your league and your product if you miss a season. If you think about the NHL and them missing an entire season and how long it's taken, if they've never really bounced back from that. It's been so far off the national subconscious of sports in the U.S. It's number 4 by a lot. And baseball with all its issues it has had, it took a bunch of guys jacking themselves up on steroids to get that sport back in the 90s. And they're about
if you didn't have McGuire Sosa, that doesn't happen. It doesn't come back.
And they're probably about to do it. They had a delayed season a couple of years ago. It's looking like the next time the CBA is up, it's going to happen again. And the next time it doesn't look like the teams are going to be necessarily as quick to fold. So nothing will kill a league and its momentum faster than labor discussion, because at the end of the day, you've got 4 people sitting on this call right now who are listening to people playing basketball complaining about not making $1.5 million to play basketball. And that just doesn't resonate with the average fan. And people don't want to hear it. They don't want to think about it. They want to take their kids to enjoy it like John does with his. There's nothing more deadly to a pro sports league than labor strife.
Well, you know what, Mike, you're right. And here's the other thing. If they miss a season, if they miss half a season, the players still aren't going to get what they want, because that's lost revenue for the WNBA. They haven't been a money-making league, and they haven't even been a break-even league. So you're not – I don't think it's to the players' advantage at all to hold out and demand what they think is equivalent to what the men get, and because they're not there yet. Yes, Caitlin draws the fans, some of them, but overall, they don't draw that attention, the revenue. And you gotta, I will say this, I do think they do deserve to make a little bit more than what they do. And it would be nice if they can make, although I'm still befuddled that you can make six figures a year and still think you have to go overseas to play basketball in the off season. I don't know. John, wouldn't you like to make six figures a year?
No comment. I mean, to play basketball, yeah, that'd be great. I would love to make six figures a year to play basketball, but I don't know. I do think the values of the teams have gone up, and I think the valuation of the league has gone up, so the players aren't wrong to want a little more. I agree with that wholeheartedly. They're asking for a lot, and they're asking for what percentage of ownership of the league that the league doesn't even have, because they had to sell so much percentage of the ownership of the league to investors years ago just to keep it afloat. So they just don't have it. I don't know. There's just a lot going on. And I'm tired of hearing about it, to be honest with you. I'm just over it. Just tell me if we're going to have a season or not.
What's a realistic time frame, though, John? I don't know this. They've got to have an expansion draft. They've got to have the draft itself is usually right after the women's college season, right? So that's a month from now.
Yeah, they got to get it done quick because you got to do that. And then again, I'm not even a fan of the expansion drafts. I think they're expanding too fast. I think it's going to make it hard to care about teams. I just think I think everybody on both sides of this is doing everything they can to screw up what is potentially the first time they've had the opportunity to be successful. The meme where the guy's riding the bike and he sticks a stick in the tire and kills it himself and like falls over and blames everybody else. I think that's the picture of what's going to happen with the WNBA. I think if they don't manage this right, we've got 3 or 4 awesome years of exciting basketball, and then it's back to nobody cares again. I think that's...
Adam Silver says that as of today, they are at next level urgency.
Yeah, I think they've been at next level urgency for a couple weeks. Adam, let's not pretend and kid ourselves that Adam Silver knows what he's talking about when it comes to running a league and all this stuff.
Exactly, or that he even knows what his even knows how to put the priorities straight.
Amen, brother.
That dude looks like an alien.
It's 2 podcasts today where we've talked that Adam Silver needs to go.
Oh, he does.
Terrible.
He rode David Stern's coattails for a while, so it seemed like he was okay.
When you make Roger Goodell look smart, you are doing something. And I would take Roger Goodell over Adam Silver.
Whoa. I wouldn't
give him credit for one thing. That guy, and I don't know how he did it, got more money on his Sunday NBA deal from NBC than the NFL got from NBC. I mean, they negotiated a TV contract that I just don't have any idea how it made any financial sense for the networks, other than live sports is about the only thing that is consistently good at ratings. And they held on to that, and they're making a ton of money off TV, and the product itself is kind of falling apart.
Well, yeah, they won't make as much next contract time because their ratings aren't as good as what the NFL draws, or their ratings right now aren't even as good as what college basketball draws.
No, but hey, credit to them. They pulled the wool over the eyes of some of these networks and got way more money than they probably deserved out of this latest TV contract. So they're still going to be flush with cash. Good on them. But man, Silver's bad at his job.
Yeah.
Imagine with some real innovation and vision what the NBA could be. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. We will probably put a pause on the Fever Report until there is some news or Team USA begins. But hopefully by next week we'll have some news and the Fever Report will begin again.
Once we have the dates for the expansion draft, we can start speculating the holds.
That's right. All we need to know is we're a full go. Thanks so much, John and Michelle, and especially to Mike Hutsell for coming on the Fever Report as a guest. Always love having Mike with us. And thank you so much for listening. Please do us a huge favor. Share this podcast with a Fever fan in your life. Help us spread the word that the Central Indiana Sports Report is talking about what Central Indiana sports fans are talking about every single day. Oh, and also, the Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media, and I love Susie.